What's poppin', y'all? It looks like Cardi B's crashing out, man. After figuring out that Offset was ready to get himself some spousal support. So there's two things. There's spousal support and there's child support, which is an important distinction that we have to make. This all started, and she went on a 20-plus minute absolute savage ranting session. It's hard to listen to. Cardi B is hard to listen to. I don't know how somebody could live with her. You've got to be a certain type of individual that likes dysfunction. That's why I'm really not cutting Offset too much bail. But this started with a Breakfast Club clip. So I'm going to play you guys the Breakfast Club clip first, and then we're going to get into it.
Offset team says that he does not need the money, that this was filed because he alleges that Cardi B was trying to come at him on things that were not fair. He alleges that she wants to decide when he can see the kids. He also alleges that Cardi B is asking for everything, like the properties and the cars. So his attorneys did this. And he also alleges, and this is a big allegation, he also alleges that he did this because Cardi B is barely ever with their kids.
So here, this comes from reports after Offset and his legal team said that they wanted spousal support in this divorce because he doesn't want to just sign the papers with whatever agreement that she has right now. He's trying to drag on the process. Understandably so from his perspective, because he feels like he got played out in public as well. Like, she's out there with the celebrity Stephon Diggs. It would be different if Offset was with Nicki Minaj right now. Not that he would want to be, but somebody that's seen as a quote unquote upgrade to Cardi B, and he was wifed up or hubbied up, whatever you want to call it, with her. I think he wouldn't be asking for spousal support. I think he would just be like, all right, say less, because that equivalence is like greater than the sum of Stephon Diggs and Cardi B. But also there was him getting cheated on last year that he decided to volunteer the information of. So he feels like, okay, it's time to get some vengeance. And he got some backlash, and he had to clarify because in the beginning, he didn't claim spousal support. He didn't want spousal support. And then now he's letting everybody know that may have backlash for him. Like, damn, you a punk for one, spousal support, whatever. Although I see most guys really just kind of laughing about the situation and saying that he should get spousal support because that rarely ever happens in a scenario like this where like the man gets it. So he decides to explain himself. I don't know why, but supposedly his team was the one that did it. And then Cardi B's team didn't respond to the Breakfast Club thing. And then Cardi B gets on live and she starts off with delivering some of the best material to be presented in court for Offset's lawyer that I could imagine.
To my mother, I want you to die, but I want you to die f***ing slow, nigga. When you die, nigga, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you die, nigga, you gotta think of me.
So off rip, she's starting off this live publicly saying that she wants him to die miserably and slowly, and this is her husband, current husband, that she's going through a divorce with. I know it's got to be amazing in the law firm that's representing Offset, because similar to how police departments and it seems like also federal government agencies can just sit back, kick back, watch some interviews on, I don't know, No Jumper and whatever other platforms people are getting indicted from, and they can be like, oh shoot, let's turn up on Say Cheese, let's see what these people are saying. Not to say anything negative about these platforms, but they're just online on Reddit, subreddits, and they're like, okay, cool, yeah, this is some great material. That's probably what Offset's lawyer is doing with this. He's like, okay, yeah, keep saying that, yeah, go ahead, hold on, give me that clip. And she is furious.
I didn't ask for no child support because I want to be done with this marriage. Like, I feel like I'm tied up. I asked for no child support. Kiari is allowed to see my kids. There is not one day that he's not allowed to see my kids, okay? He stood up my kids 3 times. He have seen Blossom only like 5 times. Okay?
So she says that she didn't ask for child support. Number one, how crazy would it look for her to ask child support when she makes significantly more money than Offset? And also another thing to note, she keeps saying my kids, not our kids. I find that very odd whenever somebody says my kids, because it's really showing the adversarial nature of the entire situation. Now, Cardi B is adversarial, but this whole my kids, I don't know, how do the kids feel about being referred to as my kids instead of like, oh, I thought this was going to be a family thing, which we will get into later. This ties into one of the later segments of the live where Cardi B talks about wanting to have a family. But for the child support argument, I will have to give her some credit here. She says she didn't ask for child support. Number one, she doesn't need the child support, obviously. If she made significantly less than Offset, do we believe that she wouldn't ask for child support? I don't know. We don't know that outcome, but come on, now I'm looking at you with a side eye. However, Offset would still have to pay child support if she chose not to, or if she chose to pursue child support, which she didn't in the beginning when she wanted to get her divorce. Because even if, like, for example, Ye, I don't know if he's currently making more money than Kim Kardashian or not, but he has to pay child support. And the reason he has to pay child support is because, or is he paying alimony? No, he's paying child support. He said he's paying the most child support in America. I don't know how true that is, but it would make sense. Not that it's reasonable to pay that much. I think that law is ridiculous. But the person that's the custodial parent, so if she decided to take custody of the kids, which it seems like the kids are with her, quote unquote, her most of the time. Same thing with Kim Kardashian. Yeah, the kids are with them, but really they're with a nanny 24/7. So who are they really with? But the person that has custody of the kids, they get child support from the other parents, even if the other parent makes significantly less than them, which is wild, right? Like, you're like, yo, Offset. And if the person's dirt broke, that's a different story, but Offset isn't dirt broke. So he would have to pay child support. And the reason why I think Cardi B didn't want to pursue the child support is because she knew it would be contentious. And on top of that, she also wanted to move on with things, because keep in mind, she already had a new man. So she already had this dude. I'm thinking she had him in the tuck. She didn't just pop out and he was ready, or she didn't just pop out and all of a sudden they're together. I think she had him in the tuck. I could be wrong though. Either way, she was finished with the marriage, whether or not she had a new man. So she was like, please let me get out of this as soon as possible. And that's why she didn't ask for child support. So that is, we could say that's like some good faith from Cardi B.
To make it easier for you, you could see the kids in my house. Just because I want my daughter to feel the love of her dad, because I want my kids to have that love of their dad. I want the love of both parents, even if we're not together. Also, the last time we seen the kids was in March.
So here she's saying that, like, oh, she allowed him to see them in her home and she wants them to have a happy family. This is where I got to refer to what I was talking about earlier. One of the things that infuriates me like no else is when people want to hold paradoxes. Like, for instance, somebody that's like, well, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to track my calories, and I want to eat as much as I've regularly eaten, and I don't want to increase how much calories I burn. So I don't want to change anything, but I want to lose weight. It's like, you can't do that. Or somebody that says, well, I want to do really well in school, but I don't want to commit the amount of time that it would take for me to perform well in school. I don't want to study. I don't want to go to the office hours of the professor and ask them questions, maybe get on their good side. Hey, they might be a little bit more lenient on your exams that way, or your papers. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to party, and that's it. It's the same thing here. It's like, you cannot have like, oh, I want my kids to feel like they have a family, but their parents aren't together. That's not happening. Number one, that's not happening because you two are celebrities. Now, granted, Cardi B did sacrifice a lot of her career to just focus on her family, and the kids, they really got to spend a lot of time with her. But with Offset and Cardi B, like, your guys' career is you ducking off to different places. So the idea of a regular family when you've got nannies and babysitters and all this coming in and out, that's out the window. And then they can't have the love of a family if they're meeting their parents in different places. She did say she would allow them to meet in the house, but how likely is it for an argument to jump out at the home? Whether it's Offset that starts it, which I do believe that he starts many arguments, or Cardi B. So the whole idea of co-parenting and it working out normally, that's not a thing, and definitely not with celebrities, and celebrities like Cardi B and Offset, who are a certain type of celebrity. Let's just say that they're not they don't have the most emotional control over themselves and are willing to get on live and expose all of their business just like this, even though they're in the middle of divorce proceedings. So yeah, those kids, they're rich, but the idea that this fantasy idea of like, yeah, we're going to break up, but the kids are not going to be harmed or bothered by this at all, it's a fantasy. You cannot have it all. The next clip is hilarious though, because she addresses his point where he was talking about she wanted to take everything, and I was thinking like, what does everything really mean, Offset? Like, Cardi B's got more bread. That's why you want the spousal support, isn't it? But she addresses this.
What you mean I'm trying to take everything? The cars that you gave me, I gave you cars too. You gave me the Rolls Royce truck. You gave me the Lamb truck. And The day that I bought my Maybach, the Maybach was $170,000, and I didn't have the $70,000 that day. I had to get it the next day. So you just put the $70,000. You want those cars so bad, bitch, you could get it. But then you want to talk about the houses. You want to talk about the houses? First of all, my Jersey house, I bought that shit. And you tell me myself, if you buy a house in Jersey, I'm not helping you think, because I don't want a house up north. But my dream was always to be my property. I bought that shit with my sweat and tears. The Atlanta house, you have put me with the bill the last year. The last year you have put me with the bill. Just like you left me the last year, you have left me with the kids' bill. The last year you have left me for a whole year straight. You have left me with the kids' bill. Y'all want to know what's the kids' bills? Start adding. Y'all need to start adding right now, right? So my kids got their own driver. They picked them up from school, they dropped them off, and they take them to gymnastics and to wavy unboxing classes. The kid's driver is on a retainer for $10,000 a month. So that's $10,000 a month just on a driver for my kids. All right, cool. Culture Culture School this year, you didn't pay for it. That's 45,000. Wave School a year is 35,000, which you didn't help me pay for it this year at all. My cousin babysits Wave and Culture. She gets paid $3,000 a week. The nanny was $700 a day, but because she's only staying in the daytime, $500. Don't call me. Nobody fucking call me. Nobody call me right now. Dead ass. The baby's nanny is $500 a day now because she's not staying the whole day. Culture and Wave gets tutoring 4 times a week by the hour. So that's 2 hours. 1 hour for Culture, 1 hour for Wave. Each hour is $250. So that's count that up. That's 4 times a week. Culture thing. Culture pianos class. That's 300 an hour, and she gets piano class 3 times a week. I'm not sure how much is gymnastic and wave boxing classes, but I pay that too. And you have left me with that bill.
Oh, damn. Off rip. What, do they just want to do a swap out for the gifts that they gave each other? Now, when she says he stopped making payments for their home a year ago, I think that was the home that was being built in Atlanta. And wasn't it about a year ago that he discovered, or claims that he discovered, that she was cheating? It was like last summer. And we don't know how long that had been going. So it would make sense that Offset's like, hold on, you were just playing me? And now you want me to keep paying for this stuff? Hell nah, I ain't paying for that anymore. And while some will say, well, Offset cheated first. Well, this is the thing. Offset cheated before they were married. He cheated when they were engaged, I think. He cheated multiple times while they were married. So this was consistent behavior that she knew about Offset before they got together. She demonstrated that she was willing to tolerate this behavior. She was also willing to tolerate the embarrassment that came from it. But Offset was not. So it had been like that from the beginning. So we can't say that these two things are equal, because the way that they were viewed by each party in this union is not equal. So Offset clearly was bothered by it. Cardi B, while she was bothered by it, she was willing to tolerate it. So those are two different things. Just because the action is the same doesn't mean that the person treats the level or severity of disrespect that they feel from it the same, and the willingness to tolerate it and continue in the relationship the same. And stop and pay. Number one, she starts listing off those kids' bills. Yo, if these kids, and I say this respectfully, if these kids don't end up in some Ivy League school as elite athletes or musicians, what's going on? Because I don't think I've heard of a bigger head start than this. This is why, if you've made it in any type of regard, like if you're an elite athlete, if you are like a distinguished academic, if you went to a great school and you come from modest backgrounds, even just middle class backgrounds, you should pat yourself on the back, because there are a lot of kids like this and they really don't amount to much of anything. And you're like, damn, you had every head start imaginable and you really couldn't make it. Your genes must be screwed or something, or it must be something that happened in your mind. I'm not saying this about Cardi B's kids specifically, but there are kids like this out there. Now, there are also kids like this out there that they kind of end up making it because of nepotism, no matter what. But we know there are certain things that are of of merit, and there are some things that are not through merit. Like they may get into a school, but are they going to be distinguished at that school in the supposedly meritocratic system, or what is supposed to be the meritocratic system of the grades that they get? Do they have one of the highest GPAs, etc.? But security guard, personal chef, and this is the thing. She's talking about, oh, like my family doesn't have time to cook. What the hell is your family doing? Yo, a driver getting paid 10 bands a month? I don't think these people know how to. This is why you got to sell to rich people. They just really don't know. You're like, yo, this is the price. No, okay, 10 bands a month. And maybe it's because they contract it through somebody. I think there's a middleman that's getting this stuff for them because they need a driver that they can trust, that's not going to do anything weird. And then there's probably a middleman sourcing this, or a middle agency, and they take their percentage. So maybe the service is $5,000 actually, but they take their $5,000 for finding it, and then they just charge Cardi B $10,000 and pay the driver out $5,000. I think that's more of what it's like. But yo, you can watch kids, and I'm not saying Cardi B needs to be doing this, but her family can watch them damn kids and throw some food in the air fryer. What the hell? They don't have time. And these babysitters getting paid a bag, dog. So she said she's spending $50K. I tried to do the math on this like 3 separate times. I deleted the tweets because I messed up the math twice. And then ChatGPT messed up the math when I reviewed its correction of my initial wrong calculation. And I was like, damn, this is why I trust myself all the time. I tried to do it fast the first time. I got it right the third time, but I was like, man, I'm not even posting it anymore. But if we are to add a security guard, which a 24/7 security guard is expensive, and a personal chef, this might be close to like $75,000, 80-ish grand. So what, $1 million a year on kids? This is why they say kids are expensive, because they just they jack all of these things up. And this is also why a lot of celebrities go broke, or athletes, because you got to keep working if you got to sustain this type of lifestyle. You can't cool off. And maybe that's why Cardi B's coming back. I'm not saying the bread's drying up. Her music is still going crazy, but yeah, when you've got this weight on your shoulders that you've got to pay all the time, it's suffocating. And Offset said, hey, off with that. Now those are his kids. So do I think it's just or right that he decided to stop paying for them? I don't know. But I think what he's just trying to exact vengeance. And for somebody that's trying to exact vengeance, that sounds like it makes sense. And it's not like she can't afford it and she had to get rid of the chef or something like that. And this is also another thing. People are not going to feel bad for you for this. Most people, they're running the expenses. And wait, so you spend on your kids what we make in a year, or significantly more than we make in a year, and we're supposed to feel bad for you because you can spend that easily? Rich people listing out their problems or their expenses and trying to get people to feel bad for them never works out well. Now, I do think they're going to side with her because it's less of a, oh, woe is me, like this is expensive, I'm going broke type of situation, as opposed to the current situation, which is like, oh, this is a divorce and it's me versus Offset, and this whole like man versus woman thing.
I be with a nigga for once a week, 2 times a week. It gets to the point that my man go see me because I don't got time to go see him. He makes time for me because he know I'm busting my ass, because he know how much this new era for me, my tour and my album means so much to me. But you don't like that. You don't like that. Stop calling me. Where to? Stop calling me.
Now, this is wild. So her man, this is Stefan Diggs that she's talking about. She's like, oh, he flies out to see her. And she talks about that she's just in Atlanta in a hotel room, and people don't even really know she's in Atlanta because she's working, and she's always working. And she said her man is supporting her new era and this tour and new album. And then she's raging at somebody calling her, which, dear God Almighty, thank God I enjoy peace, that I do not have to be around somebody like this. I just hear somebody like this next to me, I'm like, what the hell is going on with it? What's wrong with this person? And you got to think, she's been behaving like this her entire life. And this is why I can't feel bad for Offset, man. This is why I'm not on his side. I don't feel bad for him. He likes this. And now that this blew up in his face, he wants to, play the victim? Oh, she's not letting me do this. Well, tough it up. This is what you wanted. This is exactly what you like. You got on one knee for this, and you was claiming this forever. And everybody knew, keep in mind, she was outspoken about being a stripper, and she was outspoken about drugging and robbing men and getting into all of these activities. And you thought, oh, this is a good idea for me to marry. Well, this is what happens when you divorce. It seems like she's getting the trash end of the stick, though, in this divorce. But clearly, this Stefan Diggs dude is really supporting her. And she also said, when she says he's flying out, she's not saying he's flying out to Atlanta. He's flying out to New York. So you know Offset's angry. He's like, man, this guy's in the crib with my kids. And this is also another thing. It's like you're already bringing a new man into the house with your kids. How does that hold up? I don't know if the kids are there, to be fair, but let's assume that. How does that hold up with this whole image of trying to keep this co-parenting thing going on? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, please tell the media how you left me with a $50,000 a month bill that I didn't ask you $1 for. Please go say that. When you make it seem like I'm a deadbeat mom, Belcalis, Marlenis, Almanzar pay over $50,000 just on her kids alone. Just on her kids alone. Me, my money, my hands. I could have a good month. I could have a bad month. I could be depressed. I could be in a room. But guess what? I have to pay that bill. No help. With no help. No nobody. Me. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Those are my kids. I'm cool with that. Don't faze me.
And she goes ranting again how much she spends on her kids, which congratulations, she spends quite a lot on her kids. And what I think about this is, you know how everybody says like, yo, you got bullied or you're going to get bullied if your mom does OF or was doing corn or adult type of things. I'm thinking about that like, yeah, for sure, obviously, no brainer. But one of her kids is a little bit older, is like what, 10? Not 10, like 6, 7, 8, like they're in school. So are they like, yo, is this your mom arguing with your dad? Or yelling at your dad saying she wants him 6 feet under and she wants it to be painful, and she's talking about how much she pays for y'all and screaming it to the entire world? This you? I think I wouldn't say that's as bad as, you know, your mom. Well, I mean, they do have Cardi B completely bare. They have photos of that out there, but I wouldn't say it's like as bad as a chick getting cracked on your mom getting cracked and being shown that video. But this is also like, what do you even say to that? Like, that's really embarrassing. And I don't know how it makes the kids feel too, because I feel like if I was a kid listening to this, it's like, damn, that's how you feel about me? Like I'm an expense? Even though she says like, oh yeah, I'm happy to pay for my kids. It's just you as the kid are being used as this bargaining chip. And I don't know if the kids, yeah, if I was a kid, I'd be feeling like I was the problem when we know it's not the kid's fault whatsoever. It's these two dysfunctional parents.
He hasn't paid the mortgage for a whole year in the Atlanta house. You're in the Atlanta house right now, and you're be going over there. And I want you, and you know what's so crazy? I be wanting to go over there and clap the fuck up, because at the end of the day, I'm paying for the bill in that because you haven't paid for a whole year. But you know what? You harass me so much when I be with my that I just want peace. I want peace. You want to be with your bitch in this house? All right, fine. Just please leave me alone. I just want to leave me the fuck alone. I just want to be left alone. I want to be free.
Now, this is where we got to tip our hat off to Offset. So Offset, 11 months prior or a year prior, says, screw this. I ain't paying for this Atlanta house no more, which he's the one that got her to come down to Atlanta, because she said she don't mess with Atlanta. And when she's in Atlanta, because his family's in Atlanta, Offside, I just remember that from all those Migos mixtapes. So his family's in Atlanta. He wants to be down there. So she's not even at that crib and she stays at a hotel. He hasn't paid for that in 12 months. And she's saying he's bringing his new chick in there. So he's... Yo, I swear, I think... It's not even, I got a lot of respect for Cardi B for not going crazy on this situation. I really think that this was her bursting a gasket, and it was a dumb move for her to get on this live, but for her to be chilling, and that's how you know she really don't care and want to get out of this marriage, because for her to be paying the mortgage on that, and Offset's bringing his new woman in there, or his new chick in there. Now, you know, if he was bringing Nicki Minaj in there, oh man, Cardi B would have set arson to that, like some sort of Diddy situation. Some Porsche was getting lit on fire, that's for sure, because that's her op. But with this, she's letting that go until now. But Offset's like, yo, don't worry about it. My ex, she paying for us to enjoy our time in this gigantic crib. Oh, man. I wonder if he threw any parties in there, too. Because, yeah, y'all know Offset's on his player era right now, which I don't know what I really haven't heard any music for it. Now, the image and the storyline that's building up is great. Great cinema. But the music, I really haven't heard too much. I really heard more from Quavo on that Black Boy Mac stuff. That was kind of an icy song that he had on there. But that's a video for another day, which I may never do. But in this situation, like, yo, you got to shut up, because Offset looks better now. Especially, imagine we pull up to court. Offset hasn't said anything. He's been very quiet. He seems calm and tame despite his long rap sheet, which you know they're going to bring up. And then you've got Cardi B yelling, saying she wants him dead, talking about this and that, screaming. that's not gonna look too great. If he gets spousal support, yo, imagine he just pulls up, starts throwing. I'm here for the outcome, dog. Like, I want him to get spousal support, not because I think he deserves it. And it's funny because Cardi B's talking about like, yo, I just want what's fair. Like, what I paid for, I keep. What you paid for, you can keep. And this sounds like what every dude that's getting a divorce was probably asking for. None of them get it. And it's unfortunate for Cardi B. I do feel for her a little bit in this situation. But I just wanted to see the outcome. I want to see chaos. Like Offset getting spousal support and then going to, what is it, Magic City? Whatever that club is that they go to, and just throwing it up there. And then they're playing some new Offset song and he's just getting clowned by all the girls. But all the guys are like, yo, he's throwing that spousal support money. Hey, yo, guaranteed money coming in. It might get Offset lazy. I don't even know. And will Offset start, and this is the thing, like, yo, will Offset start rapping bars about like, yo, my ex paying for this new stuff? He got to start flexing the spousal support. That'll be next level raps. You know how everybody says, yo, y'all rap about the same thing? We've never heard a rapper rap about flexing and spending stacks that his wife's spousal support money gave him, especially when you know he's lit too. That y'all want new topics, that's what we're probably gonna get. But that's it for today. Make sure to check out the previous videos I did on this Cardi B and Offset situation. I talk about Cardi B needs to develop a storyline. It'll be linked in the pinned comment. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.